Ja, den brukar göra det. Den stänger av sig.
So this is continuation of Heidegger 1115.
We can call this 1115b.
Yes.
It's a lot of name to remember here. I can put it into the description. I continue. In the path to the middle, Kensur Yeshithupten says, scientists today understand dependent arising well. They can identify what comes from which causes. Their expertise, however, lies with the temporary immediate causes, not with the more distant and deeper causes of things. Indeed, in the light of the new thinking of chaos, such an understanding may soon be outdated. Much of chaos theory starts with what is known as non-linear equation. The non-linear equation was first explained by another man who, like me and I, got an idea from watching the weather. In 1961, Kalle? What's his name? No.
The name of the
1961, the inventor of chaos theory.
not Mandelbrot, but
Edward Lorenz. And he was a meteorologist. And he was feeding a series of numbers representing weather patterns into a computer. One day, in a hurry to go out to lunch, actually, he putted in the usual numbers but skipped a few decimal places, assuming that such minute differences could not affect the larger numbers, those representing cumulus clouds and trade winds that stood to the left of the decimal. He was shocked to find on his return that his calculations had gone haywire. Large chaotic fluctuations appeared in what had been regular patterns. In other words, the changes were not in direct proportion to the cause. The relationship between cause and effect was non-linear. And this is nothing but astonishing. It's just beyond belief. I would say there is not a single human being outside chaos theory that thinks that is possible. Officially, chaos scientists call that scenario sensitivity to initial conditions, a microscopic variation that, in certain systems, has a profound effects on a macroscopic level. Min even goes so far as to insist that this sensitivity to initial conditions is what Buddhists call karma. The initial predispositions that have been created in the past and continue to unfold into the present. The force that we are so initially sensitive to is fluctuation, and Min uses another example to illustrate it. A widely accepted notion is that when you flip a penny, there is a 50-50 chance of its being heads or tails. That's the notion we base our thinking on. But what actually happens is much different. Say you toss it 100 times. As the penny keeps shifting from heads to tails, the actual numbers always hover slightly above or below 50%. Flip for another hour and you find that the numbers hover around the equilibrium indefinitely, always edging slightly to one side or another. Contrary to all our theoretical expectations, 50-50 is something that never actually occurs. It is I just have to put in a parenthesis, as a base for the example of Alice and Bob and Alice and Bob's friends. There is actually the idea that it's a 50-50% chance. So you see here, the communication between quantum mechanics and chaos theory is not 100% either. So you see the firm idea of the Milesians, or the successor of Milesian philosophy, are not always informed of their different opposition to the Milesian idea. 50-50 is something that never actually occurs. Something to think of. It is a plausible explanation of karma, the hidden fluctuation that tosses us this side or that side of even, the hidden quotient in all our actions, the irregularity of each day. One could imagine our lives like the coins progressing towards some equilibrium, but dancing endlessly from this side to that. Min adds that it's critical to remember that the outcome of an action depends on the nature of the action. In the penny drop, a slight angle of the hand or the most subtle air current will control how the coin falls. Therefore, the outcome is linked to the action that produced it. The hand that drops the coin is what Buddhists might call intention. The importance of intention in determining the karmic effect of an action is well known. Kalu Rinpoche writes, "Mental attitude is the most crucial factor in any situation, and through changing our attitude we change our experience." Min believes it is not simply that the fluctuation causes various results when the coin drops, but that a new pattern is created. Things are changed on a profound level and may never return to the pattern they were in before. This breaking of habitual patterns is a familiar Buddhist idea. When the habitual pattern can be broken, interrupted even only slightly, a kind of openness arises that short-circuits the usual patterns of behavior. From a Buddhist view, the result of these patterns changes could affect what realm one might be born into. I once heard a story that the reason that the late Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche limped so severely was that when he was a boy, he once carelessly stepped over a Dharma text. The unique lesson of chaos is that these decisive steps are happening all the time. Any moment is one that can have incredible consequences. A small pressure applied at the right moment to said friend's hand makes all the difference, while the same small pressure applied at the moment later makes no difference at all. The same principle applies to heart vibration. It is not only the amount of zap, that is the electrical current, sent to the ailing heart that is important, but when it is sent. Timing is crucial. Min says, this life is not a direct cause and effect equation. That would be a linear equation. That's why I like Buddhism. It's non-linear. Mathematicians hate non-linear equations because they are so difficult to solve. Christianity is linear, deterministic. Science grew up in that mind, but non-linearity, now that's workable. Could you construct karma in mathematical equations? Certainly, Min says. I think so. Maybe. It is easy to predict the trajectory of a tennis ball through air, but very difficult to predict the behavior of a grain of pollen falling through the water of a pond. With a grain of pollen and with a person, Newtonian physics flies out of the window and non-linearity flies in. According to Min's view, the probability of our understanding your karma will vary with the nature of your karma. It will be harder or easier to change your behavior.
Put a pause here. Possibly help me move the